Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon is a podcast which focuses on contemporary social and educational issues from an educational leadership and behavioral research perspective. We will delve into those issues that are important to you as we listen to understand the needs of others and positively respond to address those needs, concerns, and/or fears. Professionals in their respective fields of expertise, in addition to friends of the podcast, will share their unique perspectives of positive solutions to what matters to you most. Join us every Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central Time, as we share positive solutions to those issues that are important to you.
A very pleasant good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today on our podcast, Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon. Today's guest has been the Alzheimer's Activities Coordinator at Genesis Healthcare in Magunji, Pennsylvania. She's also been the Diagnostic House Supervisor at Kids Peace in Schneckersville, Pennsylvania. She also was the lead teacher at Kinder Care Learning Center in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She also served as the group home supervisor at Life Path Inc. in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and she's also a certified life coach. This person has endured the odds and has beat those odds. And I'm speaking of none other than Elizabeth Oleksa. You see, Liz, as she's affectionately called, is legally blind. Yet, what some may view as a setback, Liz views it as an ideal strength. She's a remarkable woman. Here's what Liz has to say about her ability. She says her physical sight may have gone, but she now has had the clearest vision that she's ever had. Amazing. Here's something else that Liz also shares. When she lost her sight, she gained the world in return. We will have an opportunity to meet Elizabeth Oleksa, affectionately called Liz, right after our Trivia Pursuit segment of the podcast.
Do you know a whole lot of information that you would like to utilize in a fun and useful way? Or perhaps you like learning new fun facts, which can be used as conversation starters at a meal with a friend or while standing in a long line. The Ultimate Trivial Pursuit Question and Answer book contains fun facts of sports and leisure, science and nature, arts and literature, history, entertainment, and geography. Test your skills with others every week as we begin our episodes with fun trivia. You'll be given 6 questions at the beginning of the podcast, and you will have the opportunity to post your correct answers to all 6 questions to drgordonpodcast1@gmail.com. The first person to post all 6 correct answers will have their names announced as the winner on the following episode. The person with the most wins after 50 episodes will win a gift certificate from our podcast's gift basket of tangible goodies. Who knows? Maybe you can win dinner for 2 at a restaurant in your area, or enjoy a full body massage from a licensed health and fitness spa. Don't be bashful. Join the fun every Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central Time on this podcast, Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon.
And now let's get started with our trivia for this segment of our podcast. And today's segment will cover science and nature. As usual, go ahead and get that sheet of paper out, a pen and a pencil, and listen carefully to the 6 questions. Write the correct answers to all of those 6 questions, and then submit them to drgordonpodcast1@gmail.com. I will say the questions twice, listen carefully, and write the correct answer. Again, we are dealing with science and nature. Here's question number 1. What can be found under the hood of a car to visually measure the oil level? What can be found under the hood of a car to visually measure the oil level? Question number 2. What animal produces cashmere wool? What animal produces cashmere wool? Question number 3. What gas makes up approximately 74% of the sun's mass? What gas makes up approximately 74% of the sun's mass? Here's question number 4. What does a coleopterist study? What does a coleopterist study? No, not a helicopter. Coleopterist. And for those of you who are still trying to figure out the spelling, it's Coleopterist. So again, what does a coleopterist study? Question number 5. What type of dinosaur snatched the man off the toilet in the movie Jurassic Park? So for you movie buffs who might like Jurassic Park, double check again and see if you have the right answer. So what type of dinosaur snatched the man off the toilet in the movie Jurassic Park? Question number 6. What is your shirt made from if the fiber was produced by the Gossypium shrub? And yes, I had to look up the pronunciation of that word. It's a new word that I learned. Here's number 6 again. Question number 6. What is your shirt made from if the fiber was produced by the Gossypium shrub? Gossypium is spelled Gossypium. So what is your shirt made from if the fiber was produced by the Gossypium shrub? Go ahead and write down all of those correct answers to those 6 questions, and just, simply go to your phone and just click on that microphone, Google it, read out the question, you'll get the answer, write them down and submit them to Dr. Gordon podcast1@gmail.com. Let's see if you'll be the winner.
You're listening to the podcast Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon, which is uploaded weekly on Sunday afternoons at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on your favorite podcast directory.
Very pleasant good afternoon to everyone, and also to our guest. Welcome to Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon. And we are so fortunate that we have with us Elizabeth Oleksa. I hope I said that correctly.
That was perfect. Or you can just call me her royal blindness. That's fine too.
Her royal blindness. Well, it is so good to see you.
I wish I could say the same. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah, I can't see you. You're in there somewhere. Blind joke for you.
I love the sense of humor. So for those who don't know, but you will get to know Liz, and is it okay if I call you Liz? Or your royal blindness? Those are your words. Right. So Liz has an amazing story that we all need to hear and to be reminded of ever so often when we're just about ready to complain about, and yes, listen, whatever your complaints might be, listening to Liz speak will just help to remind us to keep everything in its proper perspective. And Liz, again, thank you very, very much for joining us on the podcast. And it's a delight getting to know you. We met prior, and we've had some conversations, and just sharing in conversation with you about your opportunities for continued growth has been amazing. And I've taken copious notes. I've been paying attention. And so And so as I shared with you earlier, this is your platform to share with the world, and this is your master class, and you're the master teacher. And so I'm going to step back and allow you to, share with our listening and viewing audience about your journey, which started at the age of 6 and then came to fruition at the age of 27 with regards to your vision. So go right ahead, Liz.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. As you mentioned, my whole story really starts when I was 6 years old. You could go back to the day I was born, which is a very, very special day. But
Of course.
My age of 6 was a period of transformation for me. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, highly insulin resistant, and I was very brittle. No matter what I did, no matter what the doctors told me to do, it didn't matter. There was really no way to control my blood sugars. So as I was growing up, I really struggled with developing complications from diabetes. And I was lucky enough to have a mostly healthy pregnancy with my son at 18 years old, and he was a gift. He gave me a purpose to raise this incredible gift that I was given. And I had gone to school and I was working, and I just didn't quite know where I fit in. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere, and I wanted to always fit in somewhere but couldn't find that. And it actually took me until the age of 27, like you mentioned, that I developed severe diabetic retinopathy and ended up losing all of my eyesight in a matter of 3 months for my left eye. The right eye was rather quick, leaving me completely blind. And it really is incredible because that moment was like a rebirth for me. It took me losing my physical sight to really gain the world in return. And what I mean is I lost that ability to judge by seeing, and I finally could look within and go off of my other senses and feel what was important in life. It wasn't just about what I saw, but it was learning to be grateful for those small things and to find joy and excitement and happiness in every little bit of life. Everybody, like you said, everybody has things or complications in life or obstacles to overcome. And I remember my first time that I was able to eat with a fork again after losing my sight. I decided to eat lasagna. It took me about 6 weeks before I was able to eat with a fork. All the food I started to eat was...
I bet that was kind of scary.
It was because I was always hitting myself in the face. So I started eating finger foods and foods with no color, crackers, chicken fingers, pretzels, breads, all those plain
safe
things.
Foods, right.
Yeah, I was afraid of letting go and exploring this new world of sight loss. And I remember celebrating when I brushed my teeth for the first time without getting toothpaste up my nose. That's huge.
Right. No. The little things that we might take for granted, right, was
exactly. It's like
a challenge.
I'm 27 and I brushed my teeth. It was a moment of joy and celebration. And I look back at all the things that people forget to celebrate. You're moving in a positive direction. You're moving forward. Celebrate that, and it's amazing the things that you can find out about yourself and other people in the process.
Right. And you said something that was key. You said my physical sight may have gone, but I now have the clearest vision I had ever had. And then you also said, when I lost my sight, I gained the world in return. And that is an amazing perspective that you shared. How can you explain to individuals, who might not be able to fathom the fact that you lost your physical sight, but then gained the world in return? What does that look like?
Well, for me, it was always, I was looking for something else. I was looking for happiness. And it took me losing my sight to realize that everything I need to succeed is within me. I just need to find it. And happiness and laughter and joy is what really makes the world worth living for. You know, everything, you're looking for some type of satisfaction in everything you do and everything you are. And, you know, it took me losing my sight to find my true purpose. And I am truly happiest when I'm helping and supporting others in need. And, you know, for me, I needed help, and I got the help that I needed to move me forward into following my dreams, following my heart. I went back to school. I just graduated with my bachelor's degree in psychology. And just yesterday, I got accepted into grad school. I'm going to Rosemont College for my master's in counseling.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so excited. But I don't ever think I would have gotten there or gotten to where I am now if I wouldn't have gone through what I've gone through. You know, it was a turning point. It was a point of transformation and self-realization to say, you know what, I'm worth it. I don't need other things or people to be happy. I have that within me. So I do things, you know, I'm goofy, I'm happy-go-lucky. I, you know, do things to make myself happy, to deal with tough moments. And excuse me, I'm going to hydrate a second.
No, go right ahead. Hydrate away.
I have to stay hydrated with being diabetic, and I have this glucose sensor that's on me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on my arm.
Yeah, I see that.
For that to read my blood sugar correctly, I have to stay hydrated. But I bedazzled myself. I bought a Freedom Band and a cool little case with sparkly stickers.
Glitters on there.
You gotta jazz it up. You know, if I have
no,
to
of
live
course.
with it, why not have fun?
Right. No, you have a vivacious personality and a wonderful spirit, a positive spirit, in light of what some individuals might feel. You're welcome. Might feel is a challenge, but you took that challenge, and you're still taking that challenge and turning it into wonderful opportunities of helping others also to see and to appreciate and to be grateful of those little things that may be taken for granted, and those things that may seem to be so insurmountable. In light of putting it into its correct perspective, it really may not be as big of a deal compared to other issues. We're not trying to minimize what experiences individuals might have, but it's all about having a growth mindset and looking at situations that occur and then finding those positive ways to move forward. And again, it's not a Pollyanna approach to a situation. It's being realistic, but just looking at a situation from its diverse angles and getting a better, improved perspective. And that's what you have done for yourself. And you're also doing the same for others, because you're also, in addition to your BA degree in applied psychology from Cedar Crest College, and now congratulations, being accepted into the master's program at Rosemont College, where I believe you're going to be studying counseling with a specialization in trauma counseling. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is my goal at mental health and clinical counseling, and a focus in trauma counseling.
Awesome. Excellent. But you're also a certified life coach.
Yes, sir. I have been working very hard on getting certifications from Transformation Academy. It's an accelerated and very in-depth program about learning all different areas of life coaching. And so far, I've earned 5 of my certifications, and I will be earning my master's life coaching certification hopefully in the next few days, if I stay on task with my goals. But it's been life-changing. I've really, originally I did it because I thought, wow, this could give me a leg up going into the Masters of Counseling. It's all psychology based. I'll really be able to help and support others. And then I started it, and I was like, wow, this is really helping me. It's giving me a completely different perspective. And to me, that's what life is. It's all a matter of perspective. You have choices. You can choose to see something as difficult and frustrating and aggravating, or you can look at it as a learning experience, as an opportunity to grow as a person, to take those risks, so to speak, and grow from that and move forward. You need that momentum to keep staying happy and positive, and And it's
Absolutely.
all about how you see it, and how you
I,
interpret that information.
You have, like I said before, you have a vivacious personality and a contagious positive spirit that is so needed in the world today, and it's amazing. And thank you
Thank you.
for sharing that. And you're spot on with your points that you're raising. Life happens to all of us, and in our world, it might seem to be overwhelming, but we, like you said correctly, and I agree with you 110%, we have a choice. We can choose to either to become bitter or to become better. And I found that it's so much better to become better than bitter, because we're only hurting ourselves if we're doing, the four mentioned one, bitter. You don't want to become bitter.
Exactly.
You want to become better and continue to be placed in a better position to continue to grow. And that's what you help to coach individuals to do. And you're the model for that role model. And
Thank you.
thank you.
One of the things that I've learned, and I believe I shared this with you last week when we spoke, was sometimes it can be as simple as just changing a word or two or a phrase in our vocabulary that can completely change our outlook on
I
something.
remember. Yeah, go ahead, share. Yes.
So it's like you walk out to the mailbox, you may be expecting a letter or a package. Everybody's all about ordering things online these days, and you open the mailbox and you have a stack of bills. And from my experience, it's that instant, oh, I have to pay these bills. Like really, like total ER moment. And then, but if you think about it, oh, I have to. Your body language, you go miserable. You're
Right.
releasing stress hormones instantly just by your body language and how you're moving. But if you think about it as, you know what, this is a privilege.
I get to pay.
To
Yeah.
pay these bills. This is an opportunity. I've worked hard for my money, and I have the privilege and the honor of having cable or the ability to have a cell phone or these extra whatever's it is that you may have a bill for. What a gift that is.
So in other words, think of yourself as the CEO, and you get to pay these other people who are providing services for you.
Exactly.
That word picture might work. I don't know.
And just think how much more upset you can look at it from the same situation as, oh, if I have to pay these bills, well, if I feel that negatively about it, how would I feel if I just got rid of it completely? Well, then you'll feel really grumpy. So take it as an opportunity for joy and embrace that moment of, realizing that you made this happen. You made that choice to have cable, and now I can pay that and enjoy my entertainment.
Right.
It's incredible how just changing the way you look at something,
Changing how you look at
change.
Right, changing the way how you look at your perspective of a situation, also changing words, because words are powerful. And I remember you shared that, just substituting the word help with, I want to be able to support, or I would like to empower others.
Yeah.
And I must say to you, thank you for mentioning that, because, in education, that's a common phrase that I would say, I'm here to help the students to do X, Y, Z, or ABC. And that is true. That is our job. But, just a few days ago, I had to send an email to a parent, and I won't go into details because of, confidentiality reasons. But I remember putting in the email, I wrote the word, we're here as a school to help so and so and so. And I said, wait a second, let me try empower. Our role here at the school is to empower your, and I mentioned this, the parent's child's name. We're here to empower them to reach their fullest potential. And it was a parent that was a bit, was a bit challenging with us as a school. However, when I put that in there, the parent responded by saying, thank you. And I was like, wow. So yes, just changing a word, because I would have put, we're here to help your child to do better, and, they need to do their job. Yeah, that's true. But instead I said, let's put empower. We're here as a school to empower your child to reach their fullest potential. And the response was positive from that parent. So I remember that word. So thank you for that.
Wonderful. You're welcome. I think about it, and that's one thing I learned in these life coaching certifications that I've been taking is, helping. If you say, I want to help somebody, you're basically saying that that person doesn't have the skills that they need to overcome said obstacle. If you
Right.
support them, you're guiding them along, helping them find that within themselves. And if you're empowering them, you're not only just supporting them, but you're really encouraging them along the way. And it's a totally different dynamic. And you're right, it's powerful and it's positive, and it's incredible what something so simple can really do to a person's outlook on a
Yeah,
situation.
it's about recognizing within that person that they have that potential within themselves, and your job is just to empower and to bring it out. But they already have that gift within themselves, as opposed to,
Exactly.
oh, let me help you, you poor thing. That might come across that
Exactly.
way. It may not be your intent to come across that way, but it may be interpreted or felt that way unintentionally by using words like, we're here to support you, or we're here to empower. It just gives that mindset of, you have it, you got it, and we're just here, to just support and push you
And
forward.
sometimes it's knowing from the other angle. It's just knowing that you have a support system, that your teachers and principals and assistant principals are there to support you, and they want you to succeed. It's not that, oh, they're doing it because it's their job. It's something that can make everybody feel good just by changing that perspective.
No,
And I
absolutely.
think it's a beautiful thing.
No, it is. Well, speaking about support and also empowering, in your journey, have you had that support or that empowerment? Was there like a support network in place?
Well, it all started when I lost my sight. I got connected with an organization in my area called the Lehigh Valley Council of the Blind. At the time, it was a group of 35 people throughout my local area, which is the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. And it's the mission of the organization is to be the leading advocacy and peer support network for individuals and family members or friends living with blindness and visual impairments in areas that, all over, like transportation, employment, education, just being productive members of society. And being brought to this group completely made me feel accepted somewhere. I finally belonged. And it didn't matter that I was the youngest person in the group. It didn't matter that nobody cared that, so to speak, that, oh, here comes a blind girl, because they were living it too,
Right.
And
right.
We all connected. And before you know it, I was president of the group for 3 years.
Okay.
And I made some changes in the organization, and it keeps improving. The group is prosperous and moving forward. And it's just a beautiful thing to see how the outreach goes, and spreading awareness and advocating for people to be treated with respect and dignity, and to bring the power back to the person. So many people I know from personal experience going out to a grocery store and with my guide dog, and I'm walking and I have my head held high. People will stop me and say, oh, I would love to see that dog with its blind person someday. Okay, well, I am that blind person. And they're like, oh, wait, the dog's blind? Back up. No, I'm blind. And they say, well, but you hold your head high and you walk fast and you look so confident. What, so because I'm blind, I can't be happy, I can't be confident, I can't be proud of who I am? It's just
a preconceived idea that some people have of those who might be visually impaired, and
exactly.
You're not what they expect. So you present a total different model of what visually impaired empowerment looks like.
And that's what this organization does. It's a chapter of Pennsylvania Council of the Blind, which is an affiliate of American Council of the Blind, which is the national level. And I've worked with them. I've received different scholarships to partake in different activities and events with them. I've worked with the Seeing Eye out of Morristown, New Jersey, which is the oldest guide dog school in the world. which is where I got my guide dog from. And I help, spread their message and attend events to help advocate and share that joy and that statement that just because we're blind doesn't mean we're not capable,
Right.
And it's amazing the things that you can do. I can cut vegetables with my eyes closed without cutting my fingers off. I've learned how to do that. I use a computer, but my computer talks to me. Don't tell me I can't do something because I'm blind.
Right.
I do these talks, and some kids or even adults will be like, well, you can't drive. Well, really? Of course I can, just not safely. It's all about how you look at it.
Right.
In the very beginning, a lady, her name's Debbie Rozier. She worked at the local Center for Independent Living. And I called her right after I lost my sight, not knowing she was blind herself and complaining, I'll never be able to do this and I'll never be able to do that. And she listened to me cry and yell and swear. And I kept saying, you wouldn't understand unless you've gone through it yourself. Well, after an hour of me complaining, she told me that she was also blind and that I can be anything I want to except a neurosurgeon. And after she said that, I was like, you know what? I can do it. I can do anything. And then I was like, I want to go back to school.
Right. No, and you did. And you probably are a huge encouragement to not only folks who are listening, but also to your son who's watching mom go through this incredible journey and is gaining wonderful insights as to what he can do to become successful himself as well. How old is your son?
He's 16 and a half. He'll be 17 in April.
Okay, so he's in high school. All right.
Yes, he is a junior in high school.
Okay.
He's also a Life Scout in the Boy Scouts. He works part-time, and he is the youngest member of the Lehigh Valley Council of the Blind. Although he's not visually impaired, he is a member and he volunteers his time with us.
Right. So I was about to ask if that Lehigh Valley Council of the Blind, is that only for those who are here, visually impaired, or is it open to those who would like to provide support?
It is open to anyone and everyone who is interested in being a part of our group. You do not need to be blind or visually impaired to be a member. You can be fully sighted. We encourage that. We can always use a little extra support.
Right.
But if you want to be an officer like the president or vice president, you do need to be visually impaired, as per our bylaws. But
right, because only you would know what it's like and understand. You can't have someone making decisions for a person if they haven't really lived that experience.
Exactly.
So that makes perfect sense. And that is where you found your support and also your empowerment, so to speak, as you were going through your journey from the Lehigh Valley Council of the Blind, as well as from the American Council of the Blind as well.
And I do want to throw a shout out to my companion, Remy. He's been a part of my life since 2014. And I really wouldn't be where I'm at now without his encouragement and support every step of the way. He's been, he helps out more than I can even begin to explain, with my diabetes, with my other health issues, and he makes it easier for me to be able to follow my dreams, by helping me and, keeping my wings afloat. So
we need that from time to time.
Exactly. And he adds a lot of humor into my life too.
And that is what we need. And this has been mentioned a number of times on the podcast about for all of us to be able to, as life happens, and life does occur, whether we want it to, we want life to occur, of course. However, things that happen in life occurs that are challenging to us. Sometimes we just need to be able to stop, pause, breathe, reflect, add some laughter in there. On the podcast before this one from last week, we added create.
Yes.
And yeah. And so in today's podcast, we're talking about doing all of those things as well. And then also adding another component perhaps to that, which is to then empower So we have to empower and to support as well. So I am learning, and all the podcasts seem to be interconnecting with each other. And I review them very frequently, and that's how we learn. We learn, forget, learn, forget, learn, forget, learn, remember. So,
Remember.
so it's review. It's a review lesson. There might be a final exam here sometime, folks. You never know.
Oh, goodness. Well, you do trivia questions every week, so.
That is true. I guess some folks are waiting until the end, because I did say in the commercial advertising, the trivia component of the podcast, that after 50 episodes, then we'll have a winner, and whoever has the most answers answered correctly will then be the winner and can win a prize. But the purpose of this was to just give folks an opportunity to utilize the knowledge that they know, or to just participate, to learn something new, and just to have fun with it as well, and to offer some tangible gifts to encourage them. Knowledge is power, and it's not about the one with the most power. Knowledge has the most power. It's about utilizing that knowledge that you have to help make the world a little bit better than how you met it. And using our gifts and talents, and a smile, a positive spirit or personality are all gifts and talents that we can use. Just use what we have to help to heal the world, and be that healing balm, that solace that's so needed today.
Yes, there's so much negativity in the world, and it's human nature, unfortunately, to focus on the negative. It's so much easier to complain and get in that negative mindset. But if you can switch that around and just realize that you're going to get through this, no matter what the situation is, you can get through it. And it may take hard work, but by adding some light and love and joy and happiness into that, you can give yourself the momentum to take that little step forward, to keep going in a positive direction, and continue to grow and learn, and make new opportunities for yourself. And it's incredible the changes that can be made by adjusting our own lenses of perspective.
And you are a role model, and you're doing that. So thank you for showing us what that looks like, what it sounds like, so that we can take time out to just stop and pause and do some self-reflection, and to do better than how we have been doing. And just about that time when we're ready to complain or throw in the towel, just to be mindful that, I need to be grateful and look at another perspective of this situation. How can I become better because of it, and help others to do the same as well? You mentioned your son, Logan, and your friend that assists you, and then you mentioned your dog. So we have some dog lovers out there, perhaps. You told me what his name was. I do remember, because you mentioned it sounds very close to a particular kind of breakfast cereal.
Yes, his name is Bryce Crispy.
And that's Bryce, folks, with a B as in boy.
Absolutely.
Bryce. That was very creative, yeah.
Yes, he is an absolute sweetie pie. He is an 8.5-year-old male yellow lab with a goofy personality. I've been told he's colored like a coffee cake, a little darker on the top and lighter on the bottom. And he's got a little liver-colored nose and big droopy jowls.
Yeah, I've seen a photo of him, and he looks very, well, he has to be very, very friendly, and also wise and understanding.
I think he's more intelligent than some adults I know, and more well-behaved. No offense. If you ever go out to eat in some of those pubs or bars,
I understand.
He's the most well-behaved in the entire place.
I can say lots of things, but I'm going to resist the temptation.
Quite okay.
No, but he's a very beautiful dog. Yeah.
Thank you. He is a very hard worker. Like I mentioned earlier, he did come from the Seeing Eye out of Morristown, New Jersey. They raise the puppies, go to puppy raiser houses in the beginning at 7 weeks old until about 14 months old. Then they come back for about 3 to 5 months of actual training with a trainer. And then you get matched. You stay on the campus for an entire month.
Wow.
and
Okay.
train strictly. I mean, it's an incredibly intense program, but it is the most incredible gift to
It's
someone
rewarding.
myself. It has been the most freeing. I actually feel more free as I get choked up. I feel more free and confident and independent walking with Bryce at my side than I did when I had my physical sight.
Wow.
And that says a lot. I can actually hold my head up and be proud of who I am when I'm walking with him, because he gives me the ability to do so. And, you know, there's so much joy in that moment, and there's so much freedom in being able to say, I've got this. And that's worth celebrating and being even happier for.
No,
So.
absolutely. He provides that self-confidence that you need as well.
Exactly.
That support, that empowerment that we've been talking about. And the Pedigree Dog Food Corporation created a commercial. And would you like to share a little bit about that? That talks about your story.
Sure.
And also Bryce.
Sure. Do you want the whole background on the story of how it became about? It was actually
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, why not?
Funny. I got an email from American Council of the Blind that Pedigree Dog Food was looking to create a commercial for their Feed the Good campaign. It's all about service animals and how they can help right. communities and people. And they were looking for a specific, I guess, character role for right. For the person. They wanted a male who had lost their sight later in life, had to be between ages of 25 and 45. Like, there were very specific requirements. And I said, wait, they want a guy? Well,
yeah, you know, that's a bit too
anyway.
Yeah. Why would
No, I wasn't taking that. Well, they liked my story, and we went through the whole process of several interviews, and they said, you're what we need. So we spent an entire week in intense filming, 12 hours a day. I could never be a movie star. I mean, I love
well, you are.
The time. I love, you know, the extra attention on my makeup beforehand and my hair, but it was exhausting.
I hear you.
But they recorded my story from my perspective of, there's my favorite word, perspective. But they recorded my story of my sight loss and right. how that whole process began for me, and how I went from living in the dark to living in the light. And you might say, wait a minute, you were in the light because you were sighted, then you were right. in the dark, you're confused. And no, I'm not. Because what I say is, when I had my physical sight, I lived in darkness, and it wasn't right. until I lost my physical sight that I could truly see the light, and I could see things more clear than that they had ever been before. So that's what I mean from dark to light, you know.
Correct.
And Bryce Crispy helped create that by giving me that independence, that pride to be able to take that step forward and say, you know what, I can do this. Just because I don't have my sight doesn't mean I'm not able to do what I do. And, you know, he got me to realize that there's so much out there that can make me happy. And I didn't even realize it before I lost my sight. And it's such a beautiful thing.
Right. And so what we're going to do is we'll have a clip of that commercial shown so that our viewing audience can see it. And for those who are listening on the podcast, you might want to go to YouTube in order to see this beautiful, heart-touching commercial of Liz and her sightseeing dog, Bryce. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. He's a guide.
Seeing eye guide.
Seeing eye, right.
He can only be called a seeing eye guide dog because he's from the seeing eye. Otherwise, he would just be a guide dog.
Okay, we learned something new today. So he's a seeing eye guide dog, not guard dog. Though if you do mess with Liz, I'm sure he'll go after you and he'll become a guard dog just like that.
I'm pretty sure he would. I'm his mama, so.
I'll never forget that day. It was about 8:32 in the morning. And I had walked out the front door with Logan. He was getting ready to walk to the bus stop. Halfway up the hill, he turned around to wave to me and tell me he loved me. I didn't know that that was going to be the last time I would see his face. I had a massive headache, so I laid down to take a nap, and when I woke up, it was dark. I'm scared.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check.
I went to the hospital. And the doctor said, there's nothing more we can do. That's when it hit me. I'm blind. It's terrifying.
Mom, you okay?
Simple tasks became incredibly difficult. I felt I couldn't cook. I didn't know how to use a knife all of a sudden. The thought of crossing a street terrified me. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna live? How am I gonna survive? How am I gonna do this alone as a single mom raising my son? I thought my life was over. And then I got Bryce. In the beginning, I was like, is this really a good idea? I'm putting my life in the paws of a dog. Little did I know that he would become a part of me. Bryce gives me the opportunity to be more independent, be more self-confident, more proud. There are times where I'm not feeling well and I'm really stressed, and he won't move. He will just stand there and keep nudging me. Like, Mom, I'm not moving until you're okay. It took me getting Bryce to realize that all I need is to trust myself, and I can make anything happen. Now I stop and think because Bryce has taught me to appreciate things differently. And there's so much that makes me happy. So much that I didn't even realize was out there.
No, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that that story. Now, as we close, are there any last words of advice or tips or words of encouragement to anyone who might be experiencing any type of life struggles, whether it might be a physical challenge that they may have, an emotional challenge, cognitive challenge, or just getting through life? Because as a life coach, that is what you help individuals to do. You help them to set goals, making sure those goals are measurable, they're specific, they're measurable, attainable, the SMART goals, and
Yes.
time sensitive. So you help them. So it doesn't have to be a situation where someone is physically impaired. It could be anything. What tips would you share with them to help them? To empower them, I'm sorry, to empower them, to support them.
It's really believe in yourself. If you say, I can't do this, your mind's going to follow that and find ways of making it more difficult to achieve a goal. But if you say, I'm not able to do this yet, put possibility in your life of attaining your dreams, following your heart, doing what your purpose is and your passions, and that will make you happy, living in joy in everything you do and being grateful for everything that you have, no matter how little or how much it may be. Just appreciate what you have, because there's so much beauty. There's so much love and light can be found in just a simple feeling of being grateful and thankful. And, love, light, happiness, joy, it's contagious, so you start sharing that. It could just be a smile. Offer somebody a smile, because you don't know what anybody else is going through, and they might not know what you're going through. So
Right.
smile, and maybe that will be what makes somebody's day. And write on your mask, if you have to wear a mask, I'm smiling, so they know underneath. I can't enforce that enough. Just let yourself know that you're worth it. No matter what struggles you're going through, you can overcome them. You might need to find other ways and look up resources, and it might be challenging, but you can do it. You just need to believe in yourself, because
Right.
life is beautiful, and it's all about what choice and how you choose to look at things.
That is well said. And I also hear you saying, you're focusing your attention not only on yourself, but also on others as well, which also provides that joy, knowing that you're able to empower and support individuals as well. It brings a sense of gratification, satisfying feeling to know that someone else was empowered because of a smile that you shared with them.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so we have stop, pause, breathe, reflect, laugh, create, empower. Those are the words that we're going to use to help
I
us.
like it.
Yeah, to just navigate the times in which we're living, so that we can become a better version of ourselves, and starting with each one of us. And that way we can impact the world positively and become a positive agent of social change in the world for today. All right, so Liz, we're getting ready to go into 2021. Actually, by the time this is uploaded for viewing, it should be 2021. And so I'm laughing because we do this. Yeah, right. Because we record a few days earlier in the week. So it will be 2021. And again, so what other words of advice or tips can you share as we get ready to go into 2021?
Well, who needs 2020 sight when you can have 2021 positive visions of the future?
Okay.
Adding one, it's positive,
There you go. Yeah.
language. But, if you can have just a positive outlook on what's coming, don't have expectations, because then you'll get disappointed, and just be positive with what you have coming as your vision for 2021.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so folks, for 2021, there's no excuse. We know what we need to do. So let's become a better version of ourselves, and let's do better because we know better in 2021. So I usually end the podcast by saying, we have faith, we have hope, we have love. And you did mention love there as well. And so all of those three are very important. And the most important out of all those three is love. Love yourself, love others as well, and love God. And that power that is given to you will be able to be shared with others as well. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon as we learned about different perspectives of contemporary social and educational issues. We hope to educate and encourage as we analyze those topics that are important to you. Please continue to join us every Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, as new episodes are uploaded on your favorite podcast directory. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the link below this episode and respond to our fun trivia questions at drgordonpodcast1@gmail.com. Remember, become that positive difference that creates a positive outcome in the lives of others as well as in your own life. See you next Sunday afternoon on Positive Solutions with Dr. Gordon.